It's interesting. I was at Women's Council Realtors meeting 2 weeks ago, and I was talking to a home inspector, and he was telling me, I said, I'm hearing a lot of agents that got in the business when things were crazy, and some of them are already getting out. And he said, yeah. He said, Molly, I'm getting calls from talking to agents, newer agents, that they really don't even know what a home inspection is. And I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, no, they've never been through one because everyone was waiving them. And he said, so I have to educate an agent on what a home inspection is. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I think the market's starting to correct itself. It's slow right now for a lot of people, but that's January. We go through this every January.
We really do. But and to piggyback on what you're saying, you're absolutely right. For the last 2 years, people were waiving home inspections, not understanding where they were. And it's you know what? I would not have even thought about that had you not brought that up, because there were realtors that came on board 2 years ago that have no clue what a home inspection is, because no one ever did it. And it was so easy to do deals then because the house would sell itself. And
exactly.
But now you're right. We are going back to pre-pandemic times.
And we have to go back to the basics. And a lot of those agents that never really got the basics and were just selling homes, or the homes, like you said, were basically selling themselves.
Right. And you're right. Really, in this business, I think what makes me successful in what I do is I just do the basics. I stick to low to the ground with what I know, which is building those relationships.
Exactly.
Networking with the sphere that I've created, putting in a lot of love with my current clients, and not needing to do all this, like pay for this ad or pay for that, or just stick to the basics.
Exactly.
Not reinvent the wheel.
I think we're getting more and more back to that. I'm seeing a big change. And
all right, so speaking of which, let's transition to the home warranties. Like 2 years ago, were you seeing a lot of people not purchasing home warranties just to make the sellers happy?
Exactly.
And now, do you see them coming back in with,
Hard to tell right now. For closings, we're not seeing it as much. But closings.
Okay.
But new listings coming on the market, we're seeing an increase in that because now sellers are willing to pay for something. So a lot of agents are going out and saying, you get the free seller's coverage. So if you're willing to pay for it at closing, let's go ahead and do that. I had an agent this weekend that I've never worked with, and another agent referred me, and we talked about it. And I said, who's paying for this? And she said, the seller. I said, well, place it now, get the seller covered between now and closing. If the seller's willing to pay for it at closing, take advantage of that free listing coverage.
And do you know why sellers are paying for it now?
I think because they know that it'll help move their house faster.
It's definitely a plus. I don't know if it'll help sell it faster, but it's definitely a plus. It's definitely a buyer's market right now. I know, come end of February, March, it's going to be a seller's market because that's spring usually. It's a seller's market. But outside of that niche of spring, it's basically a buyer's market because the rates are a little bit higher. And what are you seeing in regards to that? Are you seeing sellers getting home warranties that are like top notch because they do want to sell their home, or are they getting like the basic coverage just to have
it varies. It varies. Usually they go with the standard, and then if the buyer wants an upgrade, they'll negotiate that. So the seller will say, I'll pay for the standard, and the benefit for the upgrade is for the buyer. So the buyer may pay for it, or the buyer may say to the seller, will you pay for that? So there's kind of a negotiation going there. A lot of times when we get it at closing, they will it'll be upgraded.
Okay, and is there anything new to the home warranty plans that are like new in 2023? Is there anything that was added or taken out?
Everybody seems to be changing theirs. I've seen Old Republic included. We just added, I don't have the pricing on it because it's not on the contract. You call for a quote. I believe it's 2 year and it's $100 discount. And they lock into the price for 2 years. So we've added that and we upped the appliance coverage to $7,000. It was $3,500. And we gave an option if you want to upgrade that. For people that have the higher end appliances, $7,000 seemed to make more sense. So we've done that. What we found is, I don't have 2022 figures yet, but in 2021, our claims were at 172 million, which was 40 million up from before COVID. So I would well expect that this year we're going to go over 200 million in claims because the cost of repairs has gone up.